This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5 o'clock, get ready for a big change for your drive. Coming up, a live report on where the interstate work is being done and how long a closure will last.
And they say they are working to highlight 4 recent instances of what they believe was police brutality. The demonstration held last night and a response from the police department.
Indiana playing a role in the race for the presidency. We'll show you why several Democratic candidates are making sure they make a stop in Indy this week. But first, here at 5 o'clock, we want to thank you for joining us here in Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick, and we have had a week full of wonderful weather. And thankfully, Todd, for our Friday, it's not stopping.
Yeah, you know, this week has been terrific. I mean, we started in the 70s for high temperatures. Yesterday, we were into the mid-80s. Today, we're kind of taking that next jump back into the upper 80s, but the humidity today is still fairly low. Now, as you walk out the door this morning, the temperature in Indianapolis sits at 68 degrees, so that's a little bit warmer than it's been the past few mornings. And as a whole, everybody's temperatures are a little bit warmer than they have been, but still very, very comfortable this morning. So Crawfordsville, you got down into the upper 40s the past 2 mornings. Still cool for you at 56 degrees, but a little warmer than it was yesterday. Bloomington 59, 62 is the current temperature right now in Muncie. So the past couple days, there's been hardly a cloud in the sky throughout the morning hours. Then we build in just a few throughout the afternoon. There is this disturbance off to our west. We will not see the rain, but you will notice as this high pressure area slides off towards the east, a little more in the way of cloud cover this afternoon. So we'll go from what we'll call mostly sunny here this morning to partly cloudy later on this afternoon. A little bit warmer, as I mentioned as well. About 80 degrees by the noon hour, then mid to upper 80s as we get into the afternoon hours as the skies turn partly cloudy. As for the humidity, it comes up a smidge today, but still overall very, very comfortable. The time now is 5:01. Let's get another look at the roadways on this Friday morning.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here's a look at our traffic now map. Monitoring just a few issues here. We've been monitoring delays for a long-term construction project on the north side. Westbound I-465, the slow spot right now is between Ditch Road and about 86th Street. So that is moving as we're monitoring that this morning, so just pay attention. We also have the exit closed up here in Fishers. This is for construction, northbound I-69 at exit 205. That's 116th Street, so avoid that spot this morning. And then we've been monitoring the construction causing some major delays on northbound and southbound I-69 through Pendleton. Be careful as you're heading through that area. We do have an active construction zone at this hour. Now, another weekend, another interstate closure that could really throw a wrench in your drive starting tonight.
That construction will be on a section of I-70. Our Aaron Lish joins us live. And Aaron, this is just the latest construction project of many happening in the Circle City.
Yeah, you know, you're seeing all of those orange barrels across the Circle City. This is just one of 5 of those construction zones across Indianapolis, but this is going to be a big one here on I-70. So starting at 9 o'clock tonight, all lanes from east and westbound are going to be closed, and that's going to be from the south split all the way to I-465. The reason why they're doing this is because they are working on this area to repair winter damage and improve the pavement conditions. So if you are trying to get around, use I-465 southbound to I-65 northbound back to I-70 eastbound. And then if you're coming from the airport area, I-70 eastbound to I-465 southbound back to I-65 northbound to get downtown. Now, this is going to last over a week. It should reopen in the morning on August 5th, and that will thankfully be before rush hour. Again, there are multiple construction zones all across Indianapolis. You know, city police and, of course, state police are going to be out on the roads looking for people who are speeding, especially in these construction areas, as well as distracted driving and that aggressive driving. So we're going to have a little bit more in the next half hour, but for now, back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. Want to get to some breaking news we've been following from the west side. A man is in critical condition after he was shot during an attempted robbery. Metro Police tell us that 2 men were walking near West 10th Street and North Girls School Road when they were approached by a group of up to 6 men. One of the people in the larger group had a gun and tried to rob the 2 victims when the gunshots were fired. The man who was shot was taken to Eskenazi Hospital. Officers are still looking for suspects in that case.
It is our duty to win.
Well, Black Lives Matter. It's an issue local activists want to keep at the forefront. Last night, dozens of people gathered for a demonstration outside of the city-county building to highlight what they say are 4 recent incidents of police brutality. Organizers say they want accountability and transparency from IMPD. Until then, they say they will take some safety initiatives into their own hands.
We have a mental health task force that we formed that we are working so that IMPD does not respond to 911 calls when people are having a mental health crisis. So we are hoping that task force is implemented and gets off the ground.
RTV6 reached out to police for a response to the demonstration. The department says while no officer wants to be involved in a physical confrontation when addressing public safety, the reality remains that use of force is sometimes necessary to gain control of a scene and prevent individuals from harming themselves or others. We are proud to have an open dialogue with our community, and we welcome the diverse perspectives of our residents in these conversations as we remain focused on building stronger relationships in our neighborhoods and preventing violent crime. Now, one of the cases Black Lives Matter was protesting was one we told you about just last week. It involved the arrest of an Indianapolis musician, Chanel Bates. She was roughed up by officers downtown after police accused her of trying to sell marijuana, something she denies. Her friends also say officers did not arrest some white friends who were with her at the time and were also ordered out of a car. IMPD is still investigating that arrest.
At 5:06, the path to win the Democratic presidential nomination is winding through Indianapolis. The National Urban League is hosting its annual conference at the convention center. The first wave of candidates spoke on Thursday. It included former Vice President Joe Biden and New Jersey Senator Cory Booker. All are courting the African-American vote, which is critical to win their party's nomination.
I believe we're in a battle for the soul of America. That's what's changed. You know, we have a president of the United States who has deliberately be nice, Joe. Be nice, Joe.
We cannot beat Donald Trump unless we have a large, vibrant turnout in the black community. The next nominee for the Democratic Party will not win if they cannot inspire, connect with, and earn the trust of our community.
Later this morning, the conference will host 5 more candidates, including California Senator Kamala Harris and South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg. You'll be able to watch their speeches live starting at 8 o'clock this morning. That'll be on the RTV6 Facebook page.
Beyond politics, the National Urban League's conference is also offering free tools to help you find a good job, including resume help and free headshots. Our Stephanie Wade checked out the career fair and how it can help you boost your paycheck.
As we walk around this massive job and networking fair hosted by the National Urban League, we asked people seeking jobs today what are the barriers they're facing and what's stopping them from getting the meaningful career they want.
People just don't have the network that they need to get these opportunities. And sometimes it's just a fear and a lack of confidence in oneself.
But hopefully, by coming to this free professional development conference at the Indiana Convention Center, people can begin building that network.
Maybe their resume isn't together, or maybe they're just nervous because they haven't really interviewed. They don't know what to say. They don't know the questions you should ask at the end. They don't even know who's hiring and what those folks are looking for.
More than 100 exhibitors are here this week from major companies hiring locally. There's also opportunities to practice mock interviews, have their resumes reviewed, plus their headshot taken to improve their LinkedIn profiles.
And we have people here who will sit with you and talk to you about your LinkedIn profile and help you kind of make it right. So when recruiters are looking on LinkedIn, they'll find you.
I'm definitely looking at Roche Diagnostics right now, so I hope they give me a chance.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Good luck to that young man. The Urban League Career Help is open to all and is available all day today. It's located in Hall B of the Indiana Convention Center. And hopefully after those folks head to the career fair, Todd, they get outside and maybe grab lunch outdoors.
Yeah, it would be perfect. Food Truck Friday as well on Georgia Street. So yeah, outdoor, a lot of options there, whether it's Food Truck Friday, finding another patio anywhere you are across central Indiana, or maybe just going to a park. It'll be great to be outdoors today. Temperatures this morning as you get going here in the 50s and 60s, 68 in the city, 60 in Kokomo, Bloomington. You're at 59 degrees. Muncie currently at 62. So as you grab that cup of coffee, we've made it to the end of the work week here. here, so you maybe need an extra cup of coffee to get you through the last work shift here. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s for your morning commute with nothing but sunshine. We start off completely sunny today, and we'll eventually turn it partly cloudy as some of these clouds start to drift in from the west. The rain showers that you see there, they will not impact us. You don't have to worry about any rainfall today. But the past few days, we've hardly had a cloud in the sky during the afternoon hours today. You'll notice a little bit more. And as far as temperatures, a couple degrees warmer than it has been as well. Still pretty comfortable with overall low humidity. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s later on this afternoon. We'll talk more about that weekend forecast, which does bring back the humidity and a little bit of heat as well, coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, she was caught on video calling African Americans a racial slur, and she says she'd do it again. Up next, why this woman is not apologizing for a confrontation that happened in a restaurant.
And it was the source of their organic milk, but a grocery store chain now says they aren't buying milk from a farm that has plans for an Indiana expansion, and that's also been accused of abusing cows.
Plus, here at 5:10, we're monitoring some slow traffic. This is on I-69 through the Pendleton area. I-69 is slow both northbound and southbound due to some ongoing construction work. You can see it's an active construction zone. Traffic down to one lane in both directions. We'll continue to keep a close eye on these delays and keep you updated when we come back after the break.
Weekdays at 9 on RTV6.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 5:13 here on your Friday morning, and here's a live look at I-70 and West Street. Now, this morning, everything here is traveling up to speed, but coming up tonight at 9 o'clock, we have both directions of I-70 closing in this area from downtown all the way up to I-465. Our Aaron Lish is going to have all the details on that construction project and your detours coming up. Well, North Carolina woman's on-camera encounter with another table of diners at a restaurant is getting a lot of attention, and that's because of the woman's repeated use of a racial slur. Now, that woman claims she isn't a racist, even though she believes she was right to use the slur.
Too loud. We're too loud. In your opinion. Let me show you my money. It's just as green as yours. Ronald, you're so stupid.
Nancy Goodman used the word during an argument at a Bonefish Grill restaurant in Raleigh. She blamed it in part on her anxiety, but she also says that she'd do it again.
I'm not going to say I'm sorry to them because they kept pushing at it. So, and that's all I'd really like to say.
What about your use of the N-word?
I used that word because they forced me into it.
I don't care how you feel like we should have been acting. If I was standing on the table with 3 heads in a purple jumpsuit, nothing justified you to come to my table and call me a stupid.
Well, Bonefish Grill says it is looking into that incident.
A fraternity at the University of Mississippi has suspended 3 students over this photograph. It shows them posing with guns next to a civil rights marker honoring Emmett Till. Till was the 14-year-old who was tortured and murdered by white men in 1955 after a woman lied about Till whistling at her. The Mississippi Center for Investigative Reporting says one of the Ole Miss students posted the picture on social media back in March. The university says the photo is offensive and hurtful, but did not violate the university's code of conduct. The marker has a history of vandalism, and it's unclear if the 3 people in the photo fired gunshots at the signs.
New this morning, Kroger plans to temporarily stop buying milk from an organic dairy farm facing allegations of extreme animal cruelty. Kroger's decision comes after our report on Wednesday of new video showing the abuse of cows at a Natural Prairie dairy farm out in Texas. The company is planning to open a second organic dairy farm in Newton County up in northwest Indiana. Kroger says it has, quote, a long-standing commitment to the humane treatment of animals, and, quote, it is suspending milk purchases from the Texas farm until that investigation is complete. Here at 5:16, want to bring in Todd Clausen for a check of our Friday forecast.
And Lauren, it's a nice forecast for us. It's been a pretty easy week weather-wise for me here across the area, and that's good news for you, I guess. That means we haven't had a whole lot of inclement weather, and the temperatures have definitely cooperated. There's the view as you look off to the west from downtown Indianapolis. 68 degrees right now. That is the current temperature. The wind is nice and calm. The dew points are in the mid-50s. That is still a very, very comfortable number. And you will notice the humidity come up just a smidge here throughout the course of the evening hours. And then you'll really feel it, I think, more so this weekend. So it does come up, but you only get the dew points into the low 60s, and that's still in the very comfortable range for us. So yes, it'll be a little more humid than it has been. but it's not going to be that oppressive humidity. You can still get out and about and be just fine here throughout the day today. And temperatures this morning running a little bit warmer than they have the past few mornings. We still have a few 50s out there from Crawfordsville down towards Greencastle and Bloomington, but it's 61 in Tipton, 62 right now in Muncie and Richmond. You're currently sitting at 61, so very, very pleasant if you want to get in a morning workout here. And then throughout the day today, we'll continue to have comfortable temperatures. So skies are completely clear right now, but you do notice finally we do have a little bit of cloud cover making its way towards central Indiana. So this high pressure area slowly made its way across the state. It's now off towards the east. We will not see the rain. You don't have to worry about that. That is the good news, but some of these clouds will spill into the area as we work our way throughout the day today. So we'll go from what we'll call mostly sunny to partly cloudy this afternoon, and here's your temperature breakdown hour by hour. 80 by the noon hour, and then eventually temperatures get into that 85 to about 87 degree range later on this afternoon with those partly cloudy skies. If you have plans, Friday night, I just looked up, there is a lot going on. We have a concert at Ruoff, we have a concert at White River State Park, we have a lot of festivals going on. You're just fine. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures that will be in the 70s and still fairly low humidity. You wake up Saturday morning to temperatures that are in the mid 60s, and then tomorrow's when we start the climb. We get back up to about 89 degrees, a little breezy tomorrow as well. And then Sunday's the day we'll probably target here for a high of 90 degrees. The humidity will be a little bit higher on Sunday. So especially on Sunday, I think we could probably factor in heat index values of about 95 to 100 degrees. We probably don't get into that range tomorrow. It's mainly on Sunday that we get there, and then we continue with some humidity into the early part of next week. And that's also when we start to bring some storms into the forecast Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. For the most part, lots of hazy sunshine those days. The storms we're talking about, just those pop-up ones during the peak heating of the day.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning as we have a lot of construction happening around the metro area. This is I-69 at State Road 67. This is up in the Pendleton area, and we have construction in both directions of I-69, bringing traffic down to one lane, so it's moving a little bit slower as you go through that pocket. Take a look at our map, and you can see the delays right now, both northbound and southbound. We'll, of course, keep a close eye on that and keep you updated. Well, the community and a corporation are coming together to help feed neighbors. The property management group Edward Rose & Sons is hosting a food drive-through Monday. You can drop off donations at any of the company's 8 properties in Marion, Johnson, and Hamilton counties.
It's a curbside food drive collection. People can just drive up and drop off their contributions. And you know, if it's a rainy day, we'll come out. They can call us, and we'll come out and come curbside and collect them.
Well, all the food the group collects will be given to the Midwest Food Bank.
It might be the strangest trip through a Taco Bell drive-thru we have ever heard of. Up next, the story of a customer who decided to share a little too much with one of the restaurant's workers.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana, 5:23 on your Friday, and here's a live look at I-465 and I-70 on the west side of town. Traffic here is moving smoothly this morning, but this is where we're going to have that closure come 9 o'clock tonight. Aaron Lish is breaking down the details with NDOT coming up here around 5:30. Well, most of us have had weird moments at a fast food restaurant, though you know you're ordering weird things when you're in high school or college just to see what you can get away with.
Or maybe you were a fast food worker and that weird drive-through experience was with a customer. But was it as strange as what happened in Washington County, Oregon? This woman is 23-year-old Eliana Aguilar. She was going through the drive-thru of a Taco Bell this week. When she got to the window to pay for her order, she instead reached through the window with a bottle of Hennessy. And she poured the liquor into the mouth of a Taco Bell employee.
Okay, well, she did this while a sheriff's deputy in the Taco Bell line was right behind her watching, of course. The deputy stopped the woman, and a breath test showed that she was driving over the legal limit. When the sheriff's office posted news of the arrest on Facebook, they captioned it "Weirdest DUI arrest of the weekend" with 3 taco emojis.
She was just trying to get the fiesta started.
I know. That employee's probably like, why not,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, he was cute. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
I don't even know what to say about that, Todd.
Yeah.
Starting the Friday off fun, I guess.
Yeah. On the Friday.
Yeah, baby.
All right. All right. Friday forecast. It's going to be a pretty good one once again. A little warmer than it has been, but the humidity's still pretty low. So as you get out the door for the final commute of the work week, we're looking at comfortable conditions here once again this morning. Temperatures in the mid-60s. We'll be near 80 by the noon hour, so we will warm a little quicker here throughout the morning hours than the past few days. And as a result, our high temperatures will be a little bit warmer as well, climbing up to about 86 to 87 degrees here in the city, 85 in Bloomington, as well as Muncie and Richmond. Overall, a very, very nice day. We'll talk more about the weekend forecast for you coming up here as we get going through the next half hour of Good Morning Indiana.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Coming up next here on Good Morning Indiana, Terre Haute is the only place in the country where the federal government had executed death row inmates. Those executions had been on hold for years, but not anymore.
And more major interstate construction. Coming up, a preview of where that work is starting tonight and how it could impact your drive over the next week.
And let's take another look up in the Pendleton area. This is I-69. This is a little north here of I-465. Actually, it's a little farther north of I-69. You can see the construction in the arrow board there on your screen. So traffic is shifting into one lane, both northbound and southbound. Use caution as you're traveling through that area. We'll be right back after the break.
IndianaStateFair.com. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
A man rushed to the hospital following a shooting on the city's west side.
Breaking overnight what police say led up to that gunfire. Plus, a major interstate through the city will close tonight.
Yeah, now right here on Good Morning Indiana, we're working for you with all the ways to get around that closure. But before we talk to Aaron and that NDOT closure, we do want to get a check of our forecast because it is Friday.
Yeah, and Todd, you've got another great day for us.
Yeah, you know that we're just going to continue it right here into Friday and even into the weekend. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be a little warmer this weekend, so you have to contend with that. But overall, it's a nice weekend for us here if you have any outdoor plans. What do you need this morning as you go out the door? The same thing you've needed all week long. This graphic has not changed one bit from Monday. You do not need the rain gear. You just need the sunglasses, and you can always drink plenty of water. That's never a bad thing, right? So if you're outside this morning, skies are mainly clear. The humidity is low. Back off to our west, there's a little more in the way of cloud cover. You see these showers here as well, but a lot of dry air in place with high pressure just off to our east, so the showers will fade away. But you will notice the skies go from mostly sunny here this morning, eventually to partly cloudy this afternoon. Temperatures right now are in the 60s across the area. So throughout the morning hours, we'll climb out of the 60s to near 80 degrees already by the noon hour. So we warm pretty quickly this morning, and then this afternoon, temperatures will top off in the mid-80s with a touch more humidity this afternoon, but still pretty comfortable, and skies that become partly cloudy.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning for your Friday commute. Here's a live look at I-74 and Post Road. This is to our southeast. You can see traffic there is starting to pick up a little bit at this hour, but everything is moving smoothly. No crashes around the metro area to report at this hour.
And as we look at the roads, there is going to be a major closure coming tonight that may affect your drive.
That's right. A section of I-70 is closing for construction, and our Aaron Lish joining us live this morning with all the details. And Aaron, talk to us the reason behind all this work.
Well, here on I-70, it's kind of like what's going on I-65, fixing those winter damage repairs there, as well as fixing the pavement conditions. So all of the lanes here, eastbound and westbound, will be closed. It's going from the south split to I-465, which is a pretty big stretch, but thankfully that won't impact your morning drive today or even rush hour in the evening, since the closure doesn't start until 9 p.m. So this is lasting for some time, about 10 days long, expected to be back open by 6 in the morning on August 5th. And something to note, I've seen this before, that phone maps might not have this closure up yet. So if you are trying to get around, use I-465 southbound to I-65 northbound to I-70 eastbound. And then if you're coming from the airport, go I-70 eastbound to I-465 southbound, then to I-65 northbound to get downtown. There's going to be a lot more people on those alternate routes, so there might be some more traffic in those areas. So make sure that you're leaving a little bit earlier so you get to those destinations on time. We're going to have a little bit more from NDOT in the next half hour. Back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. Breaking overnight, a man is in critical condition following a shooting on the city's west side. IMPD says 2 men were walking near West 10th Street and Girls School Road around 1 this morning when they were approached by 4 to 6 other men. One of the men in the larger group had a gun and attempted to rob the pair when the shooting happened. Police are still looking for the suspects this morning. If you have any information or witnessed anything, please call Crime Stoppers. A cable worker accused of using his job as an excuse to get inside an 86-year-old woman's house and steal from her is due in court next week.
This is disturbing, and we want the public to know and take measures to protect themselves.
Prosecutors say Quentin Wilson drove a Comcast vehicle to the woman's home in Carmel 4 times, each time telling her he needed to work on something involving an installation. Carmel police say while Wilson was in the home, he stole $1,000 in cash from her dresser and then used her credit card to make more than $5,000 in purchases. The victim's attorney tells RTV6 the woman lost much more than money.
He's really taken away her peace. She's fighting to live independent. It's very important to her, and she's done a great job of it, but now she's suffering. She's exhibiting some behaviors that would show some severe anxiety, and it's disturbing.
We reached out to Wilson on the phone, and he says the allegations are false. He's a Comcast contract worker. The attorney says the company should be held responsible for its workers, even those with contracted companies. Call 6 Investigates found Wilson was convicted in 2014 for stealing from a Walmart. Comcast told us, quote, "We are aware of the allegations against this contract employee, and both Comcast and his employer are cooperating fully as police continue their investigation. In the meantime, he is no longer performing any Comcast-related duties."
At 5:34 new this morning, Putnam County officials say that a man wanted for a homicide in New York City is now behind bars. Deputies stopped Sheng Chen Mao for driving in the left lane 10 miles per hour under the speed limit along Interstate 70. During that traffic stop, the authorities learned that Mao is wanted for homicide in New York. Mao is currently in the Putnam County Jail waiting to be taken back to New York City.
The Department of Justice says it will carry out the executions of federal death row inmates for the first time since 2003. The Department of Justice says 5 inmates will be executed in Terre Haute starting in December. In 2014, President Obama told the department to conduct a review of capital punishment and issues surrounding lethal injection drugs. That review effectively put a freeze on executions. The department says the Bureau of Prisons has finished the review and said the executions can continue. You see a list of those scheduled to be executed on your screen. All 5 are serving time for brutal murders involving children. Their executions will be held between December 9th of this year and January 15th of 2020.
It's 5:35. IPL is asking state regulators to approve a 7-year plan to modernize its electric grid to better serve you, and it would come with a potential slight rate increase for the customers. If the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission approves the $1.2 billion plan, then next year IPL will present its initial request to recover those costs. IPL leaders say the move is expected to cost the average customer an additional $1.50 per year for 7 years. Company officials say grid modernization is expected to improve reliability to lead to shorter and fewer outages.
Companies will soon have to provide better paying jobs for tax breaks. New rules in Marion County will require companies to offer jobs that pay at least $18 an hour if they want tax incentives. Some of the tax money must be spent on training, transit, and child care for employees. And the businesses must also provide health care benefits and have positive impacts on the surrounding community.
We believe that there is a way that we can implement this policy and make it work for business and support business growth, and also get the business to participate in a more meaningful way with all of us to help close these gaps within our community.
Jobs that pay less than $18 will not be considered in the evaluation. The new rules take effect January 1st of next year.
At 5:37, hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's way of answering the call to fill the more than 1 million jobs that will be opening up in Indiana over the next decade. Part of that mission is preparing young minds to be the workers of tomorrow. And that's what Purdue Polytechnic High School's new location in Broad Ripple aims to do for the students this fall. It is opening up August 5th in the converted office building just down the street from the old school on Broad Ripple Avenue. The school is tuition-free. It's a public charter high school that partners with Purdue with the goal of increasing the pipeline of students from Indiana into STEM careers, especially underrepresented minorities and women.
We're setting our students up for the future of work because we know that's constantly changing. The jobs that our students will have probably don't even exist at this point.
Well, the school is starting off with 70 freshmen and sophomores for the semester, with more classes expected to be added in 2020 and 2021. This will be the second campus for the school after it first laid down its roots in the Circle Center Mall in 2017. The Broad Ripple location is temporary, and search continues for a permanent site in the area. At 5:38, want to check in with Todd Clausen and see what we can expect for our Friday.
Yeah, more of the same. Sunshine, fairly low humidity today. It does come up a smidge. So on our humidity scale, I did move the needle just a little bit. If you've been with us here throughout the entire week, I've had you in this just great category. Well, I just moved it up to comfortable here today. You'll notice the humidity come up a little bit later on this evening. It's not bad this morning at all, but it's still going to be in that comfortable range. We're not going to be getting into that sticky air where you walk outside and you feel it right away. So I just want you to know it comes up a smidge here today, and then we'll continue to increase into the weekend. But another great day for the pool. 80 degrees at the noon hour, 88 the temperature by about 4 p.m. I was talking to a few people yesterday, and they were outside earlier in the week. They got, it was so burned. They're like, it wasn't that warm. We didn't think we were going to get sunburn. It has nothing to do with the temperature. The sun is still very, very strong here this time of year, so that's why the UV index is high. If you have plans this evening in the lawn at White River State Park, hosting a concert, the Flaming Lips are there, and we will have temperatures around 82 degrees at 6 p.m., then falling into the mid-70s as that show wraps up. Always a great venue. Should be a beautiful sunset as you look off there into the western sky.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. The Senate Intelligence Committee releasing its long-awaited report on election security and Russian meddling in the 2016 election. Just after the break, how long the report says the election interference may have been happening.
Plus, a social media network is proving that it's for more than recipes and wedding planning. Straight ahead, how Pinterest is hoping to help you with your mental health.
Time right now is 5:39, and we do have a crash right now along eastbound I-865 just before I-465, the ramp system there. This is part of that detour for the I-69 southbound closure in the dogleg, so expect some delays as you travel through this spot and pay attention to the emergency workers there at the scene. We'll continue to keep a close eye on this area and keep you updated on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The House is expected to leave town for a 5-week August recess today. Before they break, members of the House Oversight Committee will hold a hearing on drug prices, with patients testifying about the effects high prices have on their families. The Senate will be in session next week.
Following a stark warning from Special Counsel Robert Mueller about Russian interference, now Democrats are calling for aggressive legislation protecting America's elections, but that legislation has been blocked by Republican leader Mitch McConnell. That's following Mueller's testimony. A bipartisan Senate report detailed the extent of this interference, saying that Russia gained unauthorized access to the personal data of hundreds of thousands of voters. The report also shows officials in 21 states noted suspicious incidences or scannings of their systems.
Mueller's testimony should be a wake-up call to every American that the integrity of our elections is at stake.
It's just a highly partisan bill from the same folks who spent 2 years hyping up a conspiracy theory about President Trump and Russia.
Senator McConnell has blocked nearly every effort to bring election security to the Senate floor, including some co-authored by fellow Republican and President Trump ally Lindsey Graham.
This morning, 16 Marines are being accused of being involved in drug-related offenses and human smuggling, among other crimes. The Marines were arrested at Camp Pendleton, California, early yesterday morning during a battalion formation. The Marine Corps said 8 other Marines were also questioned in an unrelated drug investigation. Following the arrest, General Richard Clark, the commander of U.S. Special Operations Command, says all troops will be held to ethical, moral, and disciplinary standards. The death of a North Carolina man is being blamed on an amoeba that went up his nose, causing a deadly brain infection. Eddie Gray became sick after swimming at a lakeside water park on Monday. Scientists say the amoeba destroys brain tissue and causes brain swelling. Health officials say it is naturally present in warm water and does not pose a risk if swallowed, but that there are some things you can do to protect yourself.
To use nose clips or nose plugs if you are going to be plunging, if you will, into water. Pinch your nose if you go under. Those are the types of precautions that one can implement.
Health officials also say to avoid digging in or stirring up the sediment while taking part in water-related activities in shallow, warm, freshwater areas. And Todd, I have a feeling that the pools and lakes will be awfully busy over these next few days.
Yeah, they should be. It's another very nice weekend for us. As bad as all those weekends were in June, we've made up for it here in July. We're looking ahead to a sun-filled weekend, a little warmer, a little more humid as well, but here we are. Hey, it's the end of July. You can't really complain after the nice stretch of weather we've had the past few days. It's another great day for us today with sunny and seasonable weather for us, and then those warmer days ahead, as I mentioned, arrived during the course of Saturday and Sunday. We're in the 60s right now in most locations. Bloomington at 58, 68 though in Indianapolis. Kokomo, you're sitting at 60 degrees. So here's how today breaks down for you hour by hour. We're looking at temperatures already to near 80 degrees by the noon hour. So we will warm a little bit quicker this morning than we have the past few mornings across the area. And then as we continue throughout the remainder of the afternoon hours, we'll be up to 86 by 4 p.m. That should be right around your high temperature for the day. And by 6 p.m., we're at 82 degrees. Now, skies have been completely sunny with the exception of a few fair weather clouds during the afternoon hours the past few days. We'll start off sunny here throughout the day today, but as high pressure continues to slide off towards the east, you do notice this band of shower activity and cloud cover off to our west. And this is the first time since Monday that I've had to use TrueCast for you. And you can see as we go throughout the afternoon hours, we'll see the clouds start to build in a little bit. So we'll go from what I'll call mostly sunny to partly cloudy later on this afternoon. So that's a little bit of a change in the forecast. But notice those showers that I showed you, they're running into a lot of dry air, so they basically fall apart. You do not have to worry about that whatsoever here this evening if you do have plans. Partly cloudy skies. 9:04 is a sunset this evening, and then we'll clear the clouds out, or whatever clouds are present this afternoon will fade away to clear skies by 11 p.m. and a temperature of 73 degrees. Now tomorrow, we warm it up a little bit more. We're up to 88 degrees with skies that start off sunny, turn partly cloudy. And tomorrow and Sunday, you'll notice the humidity come up even a little bit more. I think Sunday's probably the day that's the most humid here as far as our extended forecast goes, but it's nothing like we went through last weekend. The humidity is just coming up from where it is right now, which is virtually no humidity at all. So that represents a change, but plenty of sunshine to start the day on Sunday. Then a few spot storms will be possible as we get into the evening hours, especially northern locations, and then we'll maintain that spot storm chance in the forecast as we head into Monday and Tuesday, but no significant rain heading our way. Those storms that do develop, there'll just be some spotty ones here and there, mainly during the peak heating of the day.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We are monitoring a few things on our traffic cameras here. Taking a look first in the dogleg, we have that closure southbound I-65 for construction, and now we have a crash here along eastbound I-865 just before I-465, part of the detour route, so you'll need to slow down in that area. Expect some delays. We also have an exit closed for construction northbound I-69 at 116th Street. And taking a look at your drive time, heading southbound through Fishers from 116th Street to I-465. No delays. It is a 4-minute commute. Let's take a live look outside right now. Back up in the dogleg where you can see them working that crash on I-865. Again, just use caution heading through that area, but it looks like traffic is still getting by at this hour. And here's another live look, I-70 and West Street here near the downtown area. You can see that traffic there is moving smoothly, but just a reminder, we will have this area closed starting at 9 p.m. tonight. That lasts through August 5th.
We just love the sound of your voice over those traffic cams, Lauren.
Thank you, Meredith.
Pinterest isn't just for arts and crafts and recipe ideas. Now it's trying to help people with mental health. When you search for certain phrases like stress or anxiety, you'll see mental health exercises. They'll include things like breathing and self-compassion activities. An Ohio State psychologist says they're a great way to start monitoring your mental health, but it's important to know it's not meant to replace professional help.
You know, I think that point is really when people start to experience significant distress in a way that is impacting their ability to go to school, work, get along with other people, take care of themselves, especially if people that are close to them in their lives perhaps start noticing that they're behaving a little differently or withdrawing.
The new feature is slowly rolling out, so not everyone will see it quite yet. Dr. Lazarus says mindfulness exercises help if you're feeling down. It can also help you become more aware of your emotions.
In the UK, temps breaking records. Just ahead in our trending 6, how one pup is taking advantage of a brief break in the heat. It is 5:50. We'll be right back after the break.
remodeler.
Before you head out the door, it's time for the Trending 6.
And these are some of the stories that everyone's sharing online today that you'll want to know about.
A waitress in upstate New York receiving the surprise of a lifetime. Nicole Tremblay works at Doc Brown's Lakeside Tavern in Saratoga Springs. On Monday, she served a man lunch. Well, after seeing his receipt, she noticed he gave her a $1,000 tip. Tremblay says she'll use the money to start a savings account for her unborn daughter. It appears the customer doesn't frequent the restaurant.
Well, it's hard to believe that the Tokyo 2020 medals started off as a massive pile of old technology. The Tokyo Summer Olympics Organizing Committee unveiling the design of the new medals. Each medal is made entirely from recycled electronics, including cell phones. It's estimated that about 5,000 medals will be given out between the two games, according to Tokyo 2020.
Wow, I love that. That is a great use of old technology. Tens of thousands of people are asking if the Halloween holiday should be moved from October 31st to the last Saturday of October. A petition was launched on change.org by the nonprofit Halloween and Costume Association. The group says such a move would make the Halloween celebration safer and less stressful. This morning, more than 63,000 people who are all now enemies of mine have signed the petition because my birthday has always been the day before Halloween. So if we change Halloween, then I can't say that anymore. So I have a personal problem with this, I think. It's fine if you move trick-or-treating, but let's just keep Halloween on the 31st. What are we going to move Christmas next?
Oh, my goodness. Well, from the heat wave to a hailstorm, because of a quick change in weather, this little guy named Mouse got to have some fun outside. He's so cute. Amanda Brooks shot the video yesterday in Liverpool. She says her dog thought it was so fun to try and catch the hailstones, which she estimates are about a ½ inch. Brooks says that the hail was a welcome relief because it had been so hot out that she fed Mouse ice cubes.
It's like so many ice cubes.
Yeah.
Can't catch them quick enough.
A dog named Mouse. How about that?
So cute. All right. Well, one man, Waylon McGuire, decided to surprise his Amazon-loving wife with one of her favorite things for her birthday. No, he didn't just order her something from Amazon, but it sure looks like he did. That's because this is actually a cake decorated to look like an Amazon delivery box. His wife, Emily, said it made her laugh so hard. They posted pictures on Facebook where it has racked up a number of shares and likes.
Pretty funny.
I have a feeling we'll see more of those.
Oh, yeah. Well, one little boy in Idaho will never forget his 9th birthday. Christian Larson had been begging his mom for a birthday party, but only one person RSVP'd. Then a high school football team showed up to celebrate with him. Well, a friend of Christian's mom reached out to the local football coach, who then texted the guys on his team to see if they wanted to go, and he says, of course, they jumped at the chance. Christian says it was the best birthday ever.
He's
cool.
Probably the coolest kid at school.
Oh,
that is awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
Happy birthday to him.
And I actually heard on Sirius XM radio on the country station, they had the mom on, was talking about this.
Yeah.
And so now I'm excited to see the video. The kid, he was so happy.
Look at, I love his reaction.
He was such a great kid. He invited all these kids to his birthday party and nobody wanted to come, and then the football team
That is such a shame.
Up, so.
I hate when we have stories like that.
Yeah,
because
but at least a good ending.
Right. Yeah,
So
always RSVP, yes.
Yeah, he was super happy, and now he said he feels like he's part of the team.
Very cool.
All right, outside right now, we're dealing with temperatures in the 50s and 60s across the area, so it's a nice, comfortable start to our day. Radar is quiet, not expecting any rain today. The one thing you will notice today, a little more in the way of cloud cover this afternoon compared to what we've seen. Of course, there's only one direction we can go from when we had completely sunny skies, and that's from mostly sunny to partly cloudy later on this afternoon. The humidity comes up just a smidge today, but still very comfortable with a high temperature of 86 degrees. The time now is 5:57. Stay with us. We'll be right back.